What you're going to see in this key is the exact reason why people might say that lower keys might actually be harder than higher keys. Like, I don't know exactly what that inflection point is, but I actually agree with that statement. And it's simply because of expectations of the groups, kind of just like a lack of understanding of what's actually important to upgrade this key. Like, they don't have a good basis for what success actually should look like. Let's take a look. So we're in here basic court 12, nothing really too special going on so far. It's a good comp, you got a paladin tank, but this guy's already struggling, man. You can see it. His name's Fat Ninja, which is really just not like, I mean, you can't really be a fat ninja, right? It's like kind of hard. So they just pulled like 4 different packs, a bunch of extra aggro they didn't even mean to get. And then look at the healer, what the healer types in the chat. We gotta move it if we're gonna make time here. There's 1 death. They pulled like 5 pox just now. What's the complaint? I don't know. What are you complaining about? This is one of the easiest keys ever. It's one of the easiest timers ever. This is exactly what you do not say. Don't ever say this. Don't ever bring this up 5 minutes into a Mythic Plus, especially of 12. We actually showed this exact same mistake in the key I uploaded a few weeks ago from my quarter stars. And I want to tell you guys, if you are a new tank or just like a player doing these low keys in general, do not come over here, okay? Don't under any circumstances pull this trash. I get why people might want to do it. That pylon there is supposed to be activated to make the boss easier, but it's just not needed. A single pylon being up simply means a single ad being fought on the boss. So as long as you get the other 4, you're fine. In fact, it's a benefit to leave one up at times because then it guarantees that you will not get the achievement for the dungeon. The achievement for the dungeon, among other things, creates an RP event at the end that lasts almost like a full minute extra or something like that. And this is without question the hardest pull in the dungeon if you do this. As you see, everybody is just constantly low. Lots of things to interrupt and deal with over here. And again, it's just not needed. There's plenty of count elsewhere, but at least they end up getting the save on it. It does end up dying, but yeah, 2 people die here. And especially in low keys, all you're trying to do is just avoid that calamitous mistake, man. You just don't want to put anybody in a situation where they think that the run isn't going well. But that is simply setting the stage for this. This is the example. This is the reason there's a video. This is why low keys may be harder than high keys. This is a common strategy. I like doing this too, where you just grab the mob and just run because frankly, it's only a single mob anyway. It doesn't really do that much, but the main issue with it is it does this frontal, this stomp, okay, this tank mechanic. It's very easy for people to get hit by it on the way up and on the way down, of course. But you see this guy is simply just so far ahead of the group. People are really hesitating and unable to stay with him. But he is actually going to do something that is absurd to me. He's going to kite this thing so far that he actually takes it out to the next pack. And yeah, now we have one of the harder packs in the dungeon being pulled. He dies to that, of course. So there's absolutely no way you're going to survive that. And then the chat gets a little spicy. He goes, "Can y'all interrupt?" All caps. And this is exactly why we're making this video, because the guy did like honestly a really dumb thing to do. And he also, it looks like he's taken the battle res or something. Like, I don't even know where he is right now. He's still over there. I don't know. To me, this is a very obvious time to accept blame on yourself. But you're just not going to see that in low keys because people don't seem to understand what just happened there. Okay, so now we're just like literally AFK standing there waiting for the imps to walk right into us, and they do. Immediate deaths again. But one more time, let's rewatch this all again because this is so absurd to me. And this is the kind of stuff that's only going to happen on a 12, right? But nobody's ever going to fight this mob and then drag it at 19% health out of the doorway into one of the hardest packs in the dungeon. And do that when he's at 50% health, right? Like, this is just screaming pain. It's obvious that you're not going to live this. Right, it was like completely outpaced the healer. Nobody's able to keep up. Now, he does lay on hands himself for some big heal or something like that, and then he just dies again anyway. Interrupts, doesn't, like, I mean, you're still gonna die here. The funniest thing is that construct doesn't even die. It just resets. It goes all the way back to the start. But yeah, the thing that's just so endemic of the problem in lower keys is that the guy basically just blames others for not interrupting some spell that's probably not even gonna matter in that situation whatsoever. Like, obviously the imps are there. There's a couple things to interrupt and stun, but if you do something like that, guys, please, all I'm asking is you take responsibility. You did something very dumb. Like, I'm not really sure how you thought that was a good idea, but hey, that's fine. But when you're tanking, your goal is simply to not create this calamitous moment that we are now in this cycle of. But we use the bazaar goods, and here comes the mini boss. And then here's another common issue. This is another thing that you can learn about. As you see, the fell enforcer literally spawns where we're standing. So this is going to happen quite often, and it's really just a 50-50 chance, because if it spawns and you fight this mob over here, you will be fighting the enforcer as well. But of course, if it ends up on the other side, you'll probably be not even noticing it, and you might end up making that mistake without even realizing that you made it and not actually getting punished by it. But so now we have used the bazaar goods, mini boss has been pulled, and we're going to wipe to it. But you know, as long as you learn from your mistake. What's that quote? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on low key pugging, I think. That the quote? Here comes the Enforcer again, guys. This time we're just going to tank it as a Warlock. No problem. Fell detonation on Fortified Grievous Week. We're probably fine to not line of sight that. I wouldn't even worry about it. Balma Fueler was right. We got to move faster. This key is not going to be an upgrade. And look at this. He's doing it again, dude. This is insane. You see, he's trying to sneak by again here. Now, the mob has just reset at this point. Like, you can't actually keep wiping to it. You see it's running back up there. But he's going to try to go over there anyway. There's the Enforcer walking around the left, and the dude's trying to sneak by to the right. You see him backpedal to the right there, thinking he can walk right by it. He's going to try to go over there and fight it again without pulling the Enforcer. And then the Paladin's just going to kind of stand here and look at the map for a little bit. His spatial awareness is just really weak, to be honest. So we're going to run up here, like, I go to the other side. Somehow somebody aggroed something. I'm not even really sure how they aggroed that. The group's, like, getting, like, killed by this pack, honestly. Multiple deaths, people dealing with the Spiteful, but the Paladin's just like, no. Before you said we got to keep moving, right? So that's my mission. He's over here by himself. It's literally just the Paladin and the Warlock over here. Like, you can see the map. The other three players are not even, like, they're like 150 yards away. And the dude's just going to come over here and pull the pack of imps. You know, this is the pack that the guy said, please interrupt. And the dude just shows up and just immediately gets killed. Oh, dude, I love watching this. Like, watch people show up and just get farmed. Like, look at the priest is, like, coming over here trying to heal and stuff. Like, I mean, would you? If it was me, I would just be like, okay, just let that guy die. This is why you gotta just not tank if you're trying to do low keys, man, because it is so funny. And here's the chat, right, Hunter? Bruh. Is you stupid? Says Kojane from Illidan. I mean, it's a valid question, to be honest. Probably don't want to pull a pack of like 10 casters when you and only one other player are present. Especially considering you've already seen that you have interrupt problems in this group, right? I love how we're just like intently following him no matter where he goes just to see the hilarity. Hunter says, thanks for wasting our time, garbage something. Can still finish and get the loot and stuff. Optimistic. Okay, there's another pack. Gonna get aggroed without anybody caring. The guy says, who you talk to like that? He says, who do you think? They're like still going? Like, this is always like the strangest part. It's like, all right, everybody hates each other all of a sudden. Are we staying or what? Are we going or what are we doing? The guy's just like kind of like standing here like facing the wall. What is he doing? He says, you know that, bro? Go and fuck yourself, I guess, and learn how to do ter actual route. Useless shit. Then we ask, are we finishing? No, you are not. Hunter says, dude is a fucking idiot. Lol, mate, I've healed for 20 years. This is undoubtedly one of the worst tanks I've ever seen. So you end up with somebody who really doesn't have any idea what they're doing in the dungeon. Multiple people putting social pressure on this person. The tank role is a stressful one. It's a difficult one, and especially if you're new, a couple mistakes can really snowball. Talked a lot about Quarter Stars, which I believe is the easiest Mythic Plus they've ever made, because the route just runs itself. Like, you just look for where mobs are and you just kill them. But I've had a lot of people say that this dungeon is very difficult to do when you're new, very difficult to do on low keys. And I think at the end of the day, it's simply because of all the different patrol mobs. Please familiarize yourself with where and when these patrol mobs come into play, what happens with the enforcers, where you can fight things, where you can't. Because if you do that, this is without question one of the easiest keys ever in the game. But here is why you see the low keys can actually be harder, because you have players who are completely ill-prepared for these things. Not only ill-prepared, but then also blaming others for their lack of preparation, their lack of foresight into the danger. And that just makes it impossible. Like, no matter how low the key is, you cannot succeed with that attitude in tow. So this was another submission. Thank you again. Hope that will continue, guys. I hope you're recording your runs. You could learn a lot from them just by watching the success. And you could also send me the failures and we could have a good laugh. So I hope you guys will do that. Thank you for watching. We will see you guys in the next one.